But in addition to all of that, I thought I'd share a little bit more about a few more things. We talked about a lot of different initiatives, a lot of nice new things that we were doing in 2019. And then throughout all the town halls meeting that we had, we sprinkled a lot of different things. Acquisitions. We did 4 different acquisitions in 2019. Partnership, the partner ecosystem program. You guys heard a lot about data management automation / data supply chain. So a lot of these different things were going on. And each time we'd say we are doing all of this, I think it'll be a good exercise to take a moment to understand where we are with all of this. What the current state is, where we are going organizationally, how all of this has manifested itself. So I'd like to cover some of those initiatives as part of the update today. In fact, I will start with all of that, then pass it on. I'll cover all the acquisitions. I will cover the data management automation or data supply chain, then pass it on to Clay to talk about where we are with the partnership ecosystem, and then move on to the financial update for 2019, as well as the goals for 2020. Now, at the beginning of the year, I also sent an email to all of you talking about the priorities for the year. And if you recall that, a lot of it was around operational and delivery excellence. A lot of it was engagement with our clients. It was about all the growth initiatives that we have in place. We will share, Clay in particular, more about what we are doing, what we've already started doing operationally and delivery related. That's going to help us all. And then as we get into the next town hall meeting, we'll share more about some of the initiatives we want to try and put in place in support of things like customer success and where we are with some of the growth initiatives. Okay? And then we'll round off everything with the employee recognition of tenured employees, employee anniversaries, and awards that we normally do. So that's the plan. So let's get started with the initiatives. I'll start with the acquisitions. Like I said, the first 2 acquisitions I want to talk about are the AI chatbot, Funderful. I think technically we completed that acquisition just before 2019 began. I think it was December 30th or 31st, something like that. But we should talk about that. And I'll talk about Quadrangle in conjunction with that, which we did in Q4, I believe, in September or October of this year. And then I'll talk about Converge, and then I'll talk about Render. So AI Chatbot, or Funderful was the name of the company. Let's first talk about both AI Chatbot and Quadrangle, why we did these acquisitions. Then we'll talk about what is it, and then what the current state of affairs and where we are going with it. So why did we do these 2? We did these 2 because we were trying to expand our digital, not just expand, basically start our digital and AI footprint in the FM world. And we needed to do that is because we wanted to do more than just annual giving and phonathon, some levels of multi-channel that we were doing before. We needed to expand beyond that. And quite honestly, the audiences or the clients of our clients, students and alumni, they expect those kind of things. That's how they engage with the schools, with the colleges and universities. So we needed to provide the right kind of tools. We didn't necessarily have that, but these solutions get us started on that journey. So that was the reason why we did this. AI chatbot, that's more of in the industry, they call it conversational analytics, right? Here, people who engage with another organization, in this case, students and alumni with colleges and universities, engaging or reaching out and not necessarily expecting to find another human on the other side. So it's increasingly more AI-based computer software that's doing the conversation, and the analytics around that makes it conversational analytics. So we acquired this technology, we put it to use. When we acquired them, they were more prevalent in fundraising, but interestingly enough, we found greater adoption on the enrollment side of it today. This also gave us more of a presence on web pages, websites, because we would embed this either on the admissions page or the financial aid page, and then allow students or parents of students to interact with the school on that. Organizationally, the company itself was based in Latvia when we first acquired them, but since then we brought it all within RNL. Now it lives within our product organization, in Josh's organization. We have Eric Billings, who's a product manager, and Gary Lindsay is the product development owner of this solution. The sales focus has been more inside sales related. It's lower dollar value sale, very high margin, but lower dollar value in the $5,000 to $10,000 range. But the real value of this is not selling a lot of $5,000 to $10,000 units of this, but it's really to embed in our overall offering and saying, hey, now we have a start to that AI journey that we want to take our clients on. Initial adoption was a little slower than anticipated. And the primary reason for that is the way this chatbot worked is that it was based completely on Facebook's Messenger, which means that it required users to log in with their Facebook username and password. Now, the good thing about that was the user identified himself or herself, and the school could continue to engage because they had already identified themselves. But on the other hand, anytime someone has to enter a username and password, then they're less likely to adopt it. But we've got some good case studies out of this already. Florida Institute of Technology, Austin College, University of Alaska, Fairbanks. Those are 3 initial successes where now it's been rolled out. The numbers out there, 453, 287, and 842, this is a number of additional engagements that the school has been able to capture because these users identified themselves over the Facebook tool. What's next here? We are actually expanding beyond Facebook Messenger to improve the adoption here. There will be the anonymous user functionality as well. We've got to increase adoption, refine the overall marketing story here so that we can identify more use cases for the schools, especially in the fundraising world now that it's more accepted in the enrollment world. And we are embedding this into our own product. So RNL Engage, which is, again, I'm sure you guys have all heard of it, very exciting. Campus Call is now Campus Engage. But this chatbot is embedded in it, or will be by March. What that means is when our clients engage with us, put in support, instead of making support calls that they normally do, can engage with us using this chatbot. So if we can get them comfortable using the chatbot as they engage with us, they'll be more comfortable getting their clients, the students and alumni, to engage with them using that. So some exciting things going on there. There's a bullet here under organizational integration, Peter Carone. Exciting new hire for us. Peter I think he started yesterday or he's starting today. Peter comes with years of experience in product management and product marketing for analytics, data science-based products. He'll be based in Chicago. He will be working under Josh, but his focus is going to be to help take all our digital FM products to market, specifically Quadrangle, AI chatbot, and ScaleFunder, making sure they're all integrated, making sure we have all the right messaging, the right go-to-market strategies, a lot of the sales enablement pieces so that the inside sales team is well armed with all of that. So that's going to be very exciting for us. We actually are putting a lot of focus and investment into it. So I think we should all look forward to that. Very excited about Peter joining. Next, let's talk about Quadrangle. Again, this further extends our digital and AI footprint so that we can do more things for our clients in a way that their clients expect to be engaged with. This also initially is being sold as a standalone product, $15,000 to $75,000 type of price point. But again, the greater focus here is going to be make it part of our overall offering and start clients getting more used to digital and AI and remove the perception that RNL in fundraising is a phone-only company. There's a lot more we can do now with these products. So here again, the team's been integrated into our products organization. Solomon Gray, who came with the acquisition, is the product manager. David Palmer also came with the acquisition. He's the product development lead. And then again, Peter, as he's getting started, he's going to take ownership of this from an overall product management and product marketing standpoint. Shad's been helping a lot here as well from a product strategy standpoint. We've got a very nice pipeline. Inside sales is, again, the primary sales vehicle. Also, our entire sales team should be talking about it and selling it. But inside sales team is making all the outreach. We already have a nice pipeline of 1.7 million. We've already integrated with ScaleFunder. One of our paradigms now is going to be anything that we build, buy, or partner, we want to go with an integration-first strategy so that it doesn't become a standalone, off-to-the-side kind of tool. So Quadrangle has already been integrated with ScaleFunder. It's now being integrated with RNL Engage, and more digital marketing pieces would be integrated into it as well. We're also taking it through a user interface, user experience refresh, so that all our products, acquired or built, like Campus Engage, ScaleFunder, Quadrangle, they all look like they're from the same company. Because of acquisition, they all look a little different, but we want a more modern and consistent user interface on top of all of that. And again, the focus on client acquisition will be strong here over the next few weeks and months. Next, Converge. This was the largest of our acquisitions. Very exciting indeed. I mean, why we did this? For two reasons. One, we needed another engine of growth in addition to what we did with traditional EM and FM and student success. And because of their presence in grad and online, that brings us that engine of growth. Also, a lot of digital marketing capabilities, which augmented what we already had, and really exciting new talent, which substantially increases the profile of RNL. Organizationally, I think the Converge delivery and client-facing team, we refer to them as the agency. And that's by design, because clients value the nimbleness of an agency, and we want to keep that nimbleness and that character. Jay Kelly is leading that agency along with his team of digital strategists and client service directors, data analysts, and other folks. Also want to mention that our creative team, now the combined RNL creative team, RNL and Converge creative team, is also under the agency umbrella right now. And another very exciting new hire, Dean Logan. His most recent experience was at John Deere. Comes from outside of higher ed, but a lot of great experience leading creative teams. He's joined us as well. I think his first day was yesterday? Monday, this week. It's all happening this week. He's based in Raleigh, but he will oversee the team in Cedar Rapids as well as to the team in Raleigh. If you guys haven't met him yet, I'm sure you will in short order. Haley will continue to do all things product within the agency. She's very focused on full funnel reporting now. That's what the conversation we were having just before I started out here. So some exciting new things out there. But then from a sales standpoint, the sales of our graduate online products, they're outside the agency, if you will. Within our larger sales team, Don Hiles is leading that team. That team has grown in size because we want it to continue to be an engine of growth. So that whole team is living under Don Hiles, who reports to Robert. And then marketing and research support, as you would expect, it's under the corporate marketing umbrella, which is being led by Ann Olson. Some initial successes there. I think we saw bookings growth. Our plan was to do 4 million in bookings in 2019. We ended up at 4.5 million. So that is, I would call, a promise fulfilled, because we wanted it to be that engine driving growth, and it did. Some new products have been added to that portfolio. So in addition to lead generation, which is what most of what it does today, but we've added lead nurturing. But then we've also added a research component, a market insights component, which helps clients identify and do research on what programs to focus on. We've also partnered with a company called El Toro to really take the idea of geofencing to the next level with geoframing, which is not cookies based, it's more IP based, and it's exciting new technology that we can bring to our clients. And based on the initial interest, the marketing qualified leads this year, we are seeing strong activity, strong interest in this area. Next step, we've got a big bookings and revenue goal for this year. Right? I think it's $10 million of revenue that we're trying to achieve from this, which is going to be substantial growth, or maybe over 20% growth over last year. So we all need to be focused on making sure that we provide all the support needed here to achieve these goals. A lot of focus on renewals because there's no point in keep adding all these new sales if we can't renew what we've already sold. So we're going to focus a lot on renewals, delivery, margin that we are getting out of this. It's easy to lose sight of all of that when you have a capability that's growing, but we can't afford to do that. We want to make sure that it's growing in a sustainable way. Full funnel reporting, it's a differentiator that we have here, but it needs a little bit more robustness so that it can scale to multiple clients. We'll be focused on that. And as I've mentioned multiple times already, we do expect it to be a leading contributor to our overall enrollment management growth. Render, our newest acquisition, Jeff Calais and Brittany Joyce, who came with the team. Again, very exciting new acquisition. Reason we did this one is because campus visits is a very key part of the overall enrollment story. If we can get students to come to campus, and if the visit goes well, then the probability of them actually enrolling and coming on campus goes up significantly. This was a gap in our overall offering, and when we met Jeff and his team, it just felt right that this should really be part of our RNL. So excited about that. They have a big goal for this year as well, $1 million in revenue, which is, again, big growth for them. That team is living under Sarah Cohen's organization, the consulting organization. Jeff is driving a lot of strategy and sales. Brittany's helping Jeff, obviously, but it's also driving a lot of delivery. They've come up with a smaller footprint offering, the one-day audits that can lead to the bigger offering, so they're really pushing that. We've trained up 4 associate consultants to increase the delivery capability we have. So everything seems to be going well. We had a webinar in December, a lot of interest in the market. Jeff spoke to the sales team, and the sales team had very nice feedback on how great that session was. Everyone's really excited. We seem to be on pace for Q1 to meet the Q1 goals. So naturally, I asked Jeff, hey, if we are on pace, your goal is only 1 million, why not make it 2 million? And Jeff, being the quintessential sales and customer experience type of person, spoke and says, hell, that's a great idea, but I've got a different option for you. Why don't we increase the quota of the sales team to that, right? So maybe we'll do both. I'm just joking, Robert. All right, so those were all the acquisitions. Oftentimes I've been asked, hey, is there something else? Are we going to acquire more, or is that the end of it? The answer is, I don't have anything immediate. I had something which fell through. I was hoping that would come in Q1, which would have been another sizable acquisition, but the deal just did not work out. So right now I don't really have anything, but we're always looking. So don't be surprised if 3 months from now suddenly 2 more come into being. But right now we have some early stage conversations going on, but nothing late stage. All right. Next, what you hear to being spoken to as the data supply chain. And what it really is automating our data management processes. Now, this has been a key pain point for the company and for the clients and for our team members ever since I got here. This was one of the first things that I wanted to tackle But this one has been a hard one to tackle. It has taken us more time than I thought it would be. And I think I understand the reasons. It's no one person's fault why it took us this long to get here. But when you are building a plane as you are flying it, and neither your clients nor your employees like turbulence, it makes it hard to do it. But I think the good news is that because of a lot of people who worked so hard on it, Stacy's team, the implementation team with Fritz leading the charge out there, I think Jen in Denver, the DIA team over here, Jacob and team, I think all the people worked really hard to actually make this a reality right now. So we actually have the EM portion of it done, and the initial numbers that I'm told, I had them written on a Post-it here. All this sounds really positive. So what were the goals of this? Right? The goals of this initiative was we got to reduce our timelines, right? Because we were all tired of hearing our clients say it takes us so long to process data. Quality, right? We all know that we've been plagued with some quality issues, errors because we are so manual in nature, and then just general bandwidth. We just can't take on anything new because everybody is so tapped. And in fact, we've had reduction in bandwidth over the last couple of years. So we really needed automation if we were to do anything more than what we are doing today. So given those goals, I at least have some timelines that have been accelerated as a result of this. Demand Builder, what used to take 1 to 2 hours now takes 45 minutes. Inquiry management and yield campaigns, what used to take an hour, takes 15 minutes. App Cultivator, what used to take 4 to 5 hours, takes less than an hour now. And suppressions, 30 minutes, now 15 minutes. So clearly, a lot of improvement. Is anyone who's worked on this team here? Jacob, Fritz? Do these numbers make sense? Stacy gave me these. So tell me more about how it has been, how it's transforming things. I just got these numbers this morning, so I want to make sure they're somewhat validated.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, the automation process, like you mentioned, is a huge part of that, and taking out the manual steps of touching the data in Excel and utilizing global rules that we can put in place across these products should help us accelerate this review process as they're rolled out.
Very good, very good. For those of you on the phone who could not hear that, you basically validated that this should accelerate our timelines and improve our quality because we are automating more. So let's hope all that manifests itself to benefits for clients. I think as a next step, what we need to do is explain to clients what does this mean for them, right? It's great to reduce our own processing times, but what does it really mean for clients? And this was really part A of the project. So the project had two components. One was to automate the processing when the data comes within RNL. But the other piece, which is done, I think mostly, but not rolled out, what we call smart data, is to really enable clients to be more self-service data upload to RNL. So now what they should be able to do is they need to upload a file, and a user interface would tell them if there are any issues with their data before that data comes into RNL. And if there are issues, they can see them, they can correct them, instead of just sending us non-standard or bad data and then leaving it up to us to clean up that mess. I hear that that's going to come live in March. We're going to work with some beta clients to make sure that it works. And the team is in the middle of identifying those clients. And if we can get them to be successful, this can be huge for our clients and for RNL. Now, this is for EM. We need to do the same thing for FM, where the manual data footprint is actually much larger than it is in EM. I'm not going to go through this slide in detail, but really the two things I'd like you to focus on, one which says development Q2, end of Q2, right? So I'm hoping, that's what the team has communicated to us, that by the end of Q2, the FM data automation will be completed as well. So along with that smart data in EM, the FM piece will be done, and in Q3 it'll be rolled out to clients, and then we can say we've truly automated our data management processes. That's something I am really, really looking forward to. All right, so that's some of the initiatives I wanted to talk to. Clay is going to talk about more. And there are a few that we probably did not even mention because we can only mention so many in one meeting. And we went through a whole sales division overhaul last year that Robert led. I think that's been very, very, very exciting. There are some things doing, like we brought back Al and Joe and Brian to help with bringing more client focus on the FM side. We haven't talked about that. We moved Mike Marston to do something similar on the EM side to bring a little bit more client focus and more seamless communication between client-facing delivery teams and the operations team. We haven't talked about that, but hopefully in the next town hall, we will get to a lot of those things. So with that, Clay, you want to talk about some pieces?
Thank you. Is this on? Not quite yet. You guys can probably hear me anyway, hopefully. So first thing I'm going to talk about will sound slightly repetitive, but hopefully it's just more consistent, that you'll hear the same consistent themes throughout the organization across all product lines. But our partnerships. So if you've been around me, you've probably talked partnerships. This is probably the one thing that I'm most excited about throughout the organization, because it has the same profile, the way Sumit described Converge and what interested us in Converge. If you think about, so our partnership program allows us to leverage two strengths. One, that there's tons of software innovation going on to serve higher ed. And two, we have a massive footprint in higher ed. So we have clients that have needs, and we probably better understand their needs sometimes more than they do. And sorry about that. This partnership program allows us to connect the two. So we basically, Todd Abbott and Betsy Morrison, kind of scour all of these, mostly startups. Some of these are semi-mature companies that have a presence in another market, but not in higher ed. And they look for technology or products that could serve our higher ed customers where they're not being served today and they have a need. And so some exciting examples of this are, so Spotlight personal videos. These guys were developing videos that were personalized. So if your son or daughter takes a standardized test in elementary school and you get a letter or an email that would walk you through the results, help you understand how complex the testing system is and what the results mean, basically they thought that was a very poor way to communicate a complex message. How's that? Little loud? So text is like the worst way to communicate. Email isn't a lot better because you're relying on somebody to open the message. It's in a single language, etc. And so what they thought is a video that can be personalized across 1 million recipients is an amazing way, because it's someone talking in your native language, walking you through each step of the information. And so when Todd and Betsy saw this, they're like, we could use that to explain financial aid in higher ed. So what aid you're going to get from a scholarship, what you're going to get from a grant, what you're going to get from student loans, how you're going to pay for your college education. And it was an amazing way to take a technology that exists, a partner that didn't have a big sales team or really any sales team, specifically had no relationships in higher ed, and Todd's able to bring it to Robert's sales team and say, this is what we need to present to our customers
This is a better way to communicate a message that's complex and hard to understand, and we can do it for a reasonable price because they're into mass personalization. They're already used to creating, you kind of create a template once, but then you distribute it to 1 million people. This was kind of the inverse of that. We're going to create lots of templates, but then it's personalized per person within a class. And so amazing success. We sold 32 of them, I think, in year one. For a product that never existed. So you're having to educate the client on what the product is, where the value is. It's something they haven't paid for before, so it's new budget money. But this, I think, is a perfect example of why this can be so exciting. And if you look across partnerships, so Gig, I won't go too far into that, but it's basically a social media aggregator. You can embed on your website. You can put it on a TV screen like this. So if you're walking into a basketball arena, you look at the scoreboard, you look at these TV screens throughout the arena, and it's everybody who's taken their picture with the mascot and put a hashtag on there. It can basically take a university, and instead of a university's social media group having to create content, suddenly their users, constituents, are creating content for them, and they're capturing it all, and they can deliver it back out to other people who are interested in coming and joining the university. So fascinating business model. Very inexpensive, easy bolt-on sale for our group, but once again, it's a company that had an established technology, kind of already understood the value proposition to go sell to customers, but had no relationships in higher ed. We couple them with RNL and basically get exclusivity in the higher ed market. And so now we've got a new solution to sell. We're solving a problem for a campus, and we didn't have to spend any money. We don't have to, distract Josh's team and expend capital, part of our capital budget to develop a new solution, and we take a revenue share. So that's the excitement of partnerships, is high margin, probably going to be the fastest growing product or segment in our business for the next, who knows, 5 to 10 years. And endless opportunities. So as long as our schools have some type of need, Todd has, I think, 60 partnerships signed up, but as you can tell here, 13 are really have traction so far in 19 and 20 that we have expectations to generate revenue from this year. But I think you're going to see explosive growth here, and it comes with exactly everything Sumit said he's targeting. High margins, the need is there, so it enables us to, it's an easier sell for Robert's team or for our partnerships or for our inside sales team. These are mostly low dollar amount, recurring revenue products, which is exactly the sweet spot where we want to be. The marketplace. So this is kind of an extension of partnerships. So this is where our early stage partners can advertise on our website, and has kind of created an area where they can highlight what their services are. We can help capture some of that information for them and give them feedback on the analytics on what visitors to our website are looking for, how much time they spend looking at it, what they're looking to buy. And so hopefully that's kind of the intro to the relationship with us. Advertise on our website, then we sign you up to be a full partner, and then eventually we begin selling your product, and then we go on, and hopefully we become part of the Sumit's first part of the presentation. And this is where we can kind of keep our eye out for potential acquisitions. So if a particular product has a lot of traction, a lot of potential, it's an early stage company that hasn't taken outside capital to get off the ground, that's a great target for an acquisition for us. And we can catch them early stage before they get super big and very expensive. And then the final kind of partnership revenue stream is webinars. This, I think, will grow under Ann, as these companies, probably the two areas they lack is sales and marketing. So generally, they're kind of techie people that start these companies, so they understand how to develop the product. They can do all the in-house stuff. They're not good at relationships, so they don't have a sales team. If they do, it's 1 or 2 guys. They don't have marketing expertise, and that's where we can help them. And so what Ann's able to do is connect them with all the people that are visiting our website looking for this type of solution. She can host a webinar on their behalf, or let them run the webinar, but basically we charge for access to the participants. So another revenue stream that I think will grow significantly as we continue down the path. And then I just wanted to walk through some quick numbers. So bookings last year, this didn't really even get started until the second half of the year, but we still sold $1.2 million worth of partner products. This year we expect to move to $2 million. Revenue, because we got started late in the year, you don't really recognize a whole lot of revenue in the second half. Revenue was only $312,000 last year, but this year we anticipate closer to $2 million. And I think that there's no reason that can't double each year for the next few years. So very exciting opportunity, and more to come on that. Hopefully more to come on acquisitions that stem from that program. So 2019 results. We gave you a chart because it's easier to get a little contextual view. So if you look at the yellow bar, it's 2018. We ended 2018 at $137 million in revenue. Our budget for 2019 was $135. So a slight downtick, and most of that was due to all the transformation, all the things that Sumit mentioned that we were tackling in 2019. We knew it was going to be a challenging year on renewals, on new business sales. We were changing a good portion of a sales team. So lots of.
Wait, I think one of the reasons for that was we also eliminated our Australia business.
Oh, that's true.
So
We did have a divestiture in there as well to take a business out. So we didn't have high expectations for growth. The core organic results, we ended at $130 million versus the $135 budget. But we had two things happen. So we had the 4 acquisitions Sumit referenced, but we also had an accounting change. So the way we recognize revenue on 2 of our key products on the EM side, Demand Builder and App Cultivator. So basically when we implemented change in 2019 and we rerun the way all of those projects would have recognized revenue, we got a pretty significant uptick. So after you roll in the acquisitions and the 606 change, we closed the year at 141.5, so beating both 18 and the budget for 19 in revenue. On the EBITDA side, similar story. 26.8 is where we finished 2018. We had a budget to beat that by a couple of $1 million. 28.5 is where we set the budget. We missed that by about 10%. Coming in at $25.6 million on an organic basis. But if you layer in, once again, the acquisitions, and then that were not included in the budget, obviously, and then the 606 adjustment, then we come in just $100,000 short at 28.4. So with everything going on throughout the year in 2019, pretty good results, but as you'll see, we have higher expectations for 2020. So this is 2020. We expect significant growth in revenue and slightly less significant growth in EBITDA. So the blue bar is where we finished 2019. Of course, that's with everything included. So now we've rolled the acquisitions in, made the accounting change on an apples-to-apples basis, the same revenue generators. We expect about $13 million growth in revenue and just under $2 million growth in EBITDA. And some of these things, the 2020 keys to success down here, you've heard some of this from Sumit. So retention is our biggest opportunity. And retention is really 2 things. It's reducing cancellations. So a lot of our products sell on a 3-year cycle or a multi-year cycle. It could be evergreen. What we don't want to happen is a client cancel mid-contract. So if we reduce those cancellations and then we improve our renewal opportunities, so when you are in the 3rd year of a contract, we basically budget a certain percentage will fall off for one reason or another, administration change or something like that. But we want to we feel like we're providing a better product today than we were providing the last couple of years, so we should see results through increased renewals. And so if we can reduce cancellations, improve renewals, there's no reason we can't, grow much faster than this. This is on a base of $140 million worth of captive clients. That's the biggest opportunity this organization has. It's not sending Robert out to sign up $40 million more of business. Our core business is our biggest opportunity. So that's the number one key to success. Number two is the operational efficiencies, and it's really all the things that Sumit mentioned around data supply chain. It's making our processes more streamlined with less variation, less opportunity to have errors, and then that improves client satisfaction. The clients don't get, inconsistent results or an error in a delivery of a message out to their prospective students, and so that should enable the first, which is higher retention. Finally, we get to increased business. So Robert has a bookings goal this year that's close to $45 million. Just for context, last year we finished around $34 million, so it's no small feat. But I think we've armed him with a better product mix. He's established this inside sales group, which I think will drive significant new bookings for us. Basically, we've kind of taken some of the lower dollar value, an easier message around the value proposition. So it's an easier phone conversation. You're not asking for a $300,000 bundled service agreement that you need to go on campus and present face-to-face. It's more of a quadrangle type technology play that you can demo once and they get it. So I think the inside sales organization will assist that a lot, and then the partnership expansion. So some of these products from partners are bundled into our existing offerings, and so Robert's team will be presenting those, and then some are outside, and we'll be selling those through Todd, Betsy, and the inside sales group. Any questions around 2019, 2020 financials? All right. Most of this we've kind of touched on at this point, but I'll walk you through real quick. So in operations, the key things that we're trying to do, you've kind of already heard it, is improve quality, delivery, and cost. So if we improve our quality, it just means reducing errors. So we've got to eliminate the opportunities for errors in our process. And so as Sumit talked about data supply chain, that is a key piece of this, is getting a more consistent data flow from our customer, which is a great starting point, and then automatically organizing that data, filtering that data, cleansing it, whatever needs to be done before a human ever has to touch it. You've removed opportunities for errors right there. So hopefully higher quality yield rate. And then second, better on-time delivery. So basically, if we need to do segmentations on the FM side and we get the segmentation request and we need to turn it around in 24 hours or 48 hours, we can deliver to that expectation more consistently than we are able to today. Right now, where we started, we lacked visibility, so we didn't know what our capacity was at the time. We didn't know what kind of workload was scheduled, so how much was going to come in or how much was coming in tomorrow. And so it's hard to plan. So if you're in Susan's shoes and you're trying to manage 100 plus employees, to level load workload, to know where you need to staff up, where you don't need as much staffing, it's very difficult without visibility to that. So as we improve that, I think customer satisfaction will increase, and that'll circle back to exactly where our key for 2020 is, which is improved retention. And then with that will come margin expansion. So I think the better we understand our product and the more consistently we can deliver it, then the better we can price it. We understand exactly what it's going to cost us to deliver, and our pricing information gets better, and we can price more optimally and segment a high-need customer from a low-need customer and price appropriately. We don't really have that type of input today. Sorry. So that's kind of our goal. These are the goals where we hope to be in operations. Let me walk you through real quick where we stand today. So we're really working on three things. So one is we're looking at every workflow across the operations organization. We kind of started with the MAP processes, so our marketing automation platform. We're looking at every process that exists to get data from when we first take data from a client until we complete delivery of an email, a letter, a text message, whatever the case may be. And we're looking at all the variations in that process and trying to streamline it. So you've heard the shortest point from A to B is a straight line. That's the end goal here. Less variation, less, come up here, go down to cul-de-sac, come back. We want to take all that out and make this very simple. So it's repeatable. You get consistent results, consistent cost, and you can anticipate when the delivery date is. The second part of that is the visibility. So if you have access to all the data that tells you what's going to happen today, what the expectations of the customer are today, tomorrow, then you can plan better. And the planning and the consistent workflow go hand in hand better for our employees. They know exactly what's going to happen when they come in each day, and better for our customers in the end. And then the second initiative that's underway right now, I believe we're in week 3, Jeff, is that right, of the system evaluation. So as most of you know, we've been developing kind of our Arnold 2.0 project management software. But what we've realized is we need more than that. We need a capacity planning module, we need financials integrated, and we need a quality module integrated. So we've kind of hit pause. We should have rolled Arnold out in January, February. What we're doing right now is we're stopping, saying, let's assess everything Arnold does for us. Let's assess a second system, which we've chosen to look at Deltek, which is it happens to be our accounting platform today. And so our two options are kind of roll out the Arnold system we just built, but add on and integrate the Deltek accounting platform, or go with Deltek and add on additional modules and get all of the additional information we need integrated in a single system. So basically the process, establish the requirements. So what all do we want this system to be capable of? Create a long laundry list of all of those items, and then do a demo with one and a demo with the second. The first configuration would be Arnold has to complete all these tasks. We'll get all of this information from Deltek accounting. That combination, how would that perform? What would it cost, et cetera? And then do the exact same analysis of a Deltek fully integrated system. We think we can accomplish that in about 6 weeks. I believe somewhere around early to mid-March is our timeline to complete that process. And then we'll purchase whatever we need to purchase and install. But this will probably could take 9 months to install it, so this could be more of a full year initiative, but this will be the final piece to getting better insight as to how we're performing on an as sold versus as executed basis. So once again, better inform our pricing process, and it'll enable us to be better at tracking where we have cost variation versus what we're selling to our clients. With that, I'll hand it back to Sumit.
All right. Back on? Okay. All right. Thanks, Clay. I'm sure, we both, Clay and I, mentioned a lot of things, right, around operational transformation, delivery excellence. I'm sure many of you have specific items which you think should really be at the top of the priority list because it'll really make a difference to our clients. I certainly have those. But I think one thing we realized that until we have a system in place which captures all the data, we are just shooting in the dark, right? It's all based on anecdotal evidence and our personal feelings. So that's why, in addition to data supply chain, we made that a priority. Let's start putting everything in a system, start doing things consistently, measure, and then based on that, prioritize what other gaps we need to close. I also mentioned a lot of things about 2019, but I could not mention all the things about 2019. If there are some things you feel strongly about was a great accomplishment, you're probably right. I just haven't gotten to mentioning every possible thing. I know that a lot of good things happened in EM consulting, in FM consulting. Financial aid has been a tremendous area of success for us. I think in the next town hall meeting, I'm going to have Sarah, Renee, and Jay take on the front here and talk about their areas in a lot more detail. So again, I apologize if I could not mention everything. I do understand what everyone is contributing, though. So let's get on to the employee anniversaries, which is always the best part of these conversations. You get to recognize people who've been with us for a while. We'll start with folks who completed their first anniversary. Yvette Hoffman, please stand up as I mention your name. Patrick Hogan, Miranda Woodall, Jody Harmon, Alex Pribble, Thomas Ivanko, Billy Barker, Tracy Brown Simmons, Christopher Zegar, and Corey Olinger. Congratulations, guys, and thank you. And folks who've been here longer, you get the awards from the award network, so congratulations on that. Let's recognize these anniversaries. We'll start with the 5 years. Jasmine Page and Eric Hart, are you here? Ten years, Melissa Johansson and Alex Gallegos. Are you guys here? Alex? 15 years, Darman Webb. Hey, Darman. Congratulations. 20 years, Nick Talley, Carolyn Smith, and David Waite. And last but certainly not the least, Chad Friedline, 25 years. Congratulations, Chad. All right, we've got a couple of minutes left. Does anyone have any questions on anything we talked about or anything we did not talk about? Anyone on the phone? And if not, then thanks everyone. Let's keep the good work going.